I'm excited a lot because of the new product features and the new name we have, and hope you all are going to have a great time. So in our last webinar earlier this year, I've shared snippets of new functionality that was under development. Today, I'm really excited to share all the advancements that went live in the last few weeks. So without any ado, let's get to it. So I'm really excited to reintroduce VueOps SiteLine, new name for a product with exciting new features, starting with the most powerful search engine that we have built for facilities. Using our powerful search engine, facility engineers and managers, operations team can bring context to any situation. We are calling that as virtual investigation. So users can virtually investigate issues in 2D or 3D. And with our new set of features, users can create and share information in our brand new PDF document viewer through markups and layers. These can be used to create and organize information. Users can also map assets and spaces in a drawing to create an interactive floor plan. Interactive floor plan gives you instant access to all the asset data like model number, manufacturer, submetals, O&Ms, and more, which improves the emergency response time, reporting, documentation, facility uptime. So basically, we are trying to cut down the time that users spend on looking for information. And the last, document control managers can easily manage building changes by mapping all the changes to a base plan and connecting them to a digital asphalt. So we have known that buildings go through a number of changes, and facilities team always struggle to manage all these changes across the board. So VueOps is introducing a simple and practical way to manage all the building changes. So starting with that, SiteLine is your digital plan room. Facilities can keep all that information in one place. That includes drawings, schedules, submittals, O&M manuals, models, photos, and videos, and more. So all of this information keep flowing into VueOps through projects, renovation, TI. So we use all of this information to create a powerful search engine that users can use to find information. And all of this information is accessible wherever you are. All you need is a browser and a device. So this makes this information portable so you can access them wherever you are. So let's start with one of the key value proposition of SiteLine is finding building information faster. As we all know, tens and thousands of documents and data are accumulated during the course of building lifecycle. That flows from design and construction, tenant improvements, renovation, maintenance, and more. Finding meaningful information from this ocean of documents and data to resolve an emergency or handle a problem situation has always been a struggle for facilities and operations team until now. The VueOps SiteLine is the most powerful search engine that allows facilities and operations team to quickly and efficiently investigate data, documents, drawings, models to solve any situation faster. Since all of these informations are interlinked, VueOps finds the information that you're looking for and also all the related information that you should have been looking for. For example, a user is trying to find an information, say location of an asset. So VueOps will help you to find the location of an asset. Along with that, the user can also find information that is related to that asset, like product submittals, O&M. So that's the power of data that we are bringing to the user, power of interlinked documents that we are bringing to the user. So users doesn't have to spend a lot of information searching for information. They can focus on fixing the issues where SiteLine take care of the rest, helps them finding the information. So users can search by location, asset type, model number, manufacturer. Users can also use custom attributes to find documents and more. So you can think of it as a tailor-made Google for facilities or campuses. So it's super powerful with all the connected information. And we have been pioneering digital information for almost last decade. So we support virtual investigation using models, documents, and asset data. That's what VueOps have been focusing on. but we wanted to go beyond that. We wanted to go more. So we are expanding our virtual investigation capabilities to 2D drawings. So which means users can experience the same value that you used to get out of 3D in 2D platform. So there has been always a question, why 2D? So as we know, 2D drawings are minimum standard for all facilities. Specifically for older buildings, we may have only drawings. So if we wanted to support virtual investigation capabilities, we wanted to extend the workflows to 2D drawings. And since these drawings existed for a number of decades, users are familiar with sheet-based navigation. So if we can combine the simplicity of 2D with the power of 3D, we believe that we can improve the usability of this information and improve the overall facilities workflow, and we can streamline all of this information so users can focus on resolving issues, not trying to find information. So with the new set of features, so we're going to support 4 key workflows. So I'm going to, here is a quick summary of the 4 key workflows that I'm going to talk about. The first workflow I wanted to talk about is create and share information through our brand new 2D viewer. The second workflow I wanted to talk about is map assets and spaces to support documentation, reporting, emergency response, and all of these critical workflows that needs to be supported for facilities. The third workflow I wanted to talk about is virtual investigation. I just now talked a little bit about extending the virtual investigation capabilities to 2D. I wanted to elaborate on that. And the last workflow is manage building changes through connecting all the aspects together to create a key base plan where users can easily find all the aspects for the building lifecycle. So I wanted to spend time on each of these workflows using a live demo. So I'm going to switch screens and then show all of these workflows live. So before we move into that, I can stop here for any questions while I pull up my product demo.
I don't see any questions, Shanam. I think we can go ahead and jump in.
Okay, so starting with our first workflow is create and share information. So we supported 3D models and markups in 3D models. So we wanted to extend that capabilities to 2D drawings. So what you see is our homepage where users can come and find information that they're looking for. So I'm going to start with a floor plan to demonstrate a scenario. So I will open a floor plan. I already have a floor plan open. So imagine a scenario where a new capital project manager wanted to mark up a drawing and share it with an architect or a contractor for TI or renovation. Or any facilities operations team wanted to mark up a document for documentation and communication. For example, let's say I wanted to mark up all the office spaces in a building and then share it with my stakeholders. So I'll show you how easy it is to create and share information. So I have a floor plan open and I wanted to mark up office spaces and then publish them to all my stakeholders. So I'm going to start with the markup tool. This is our brand new PDF viewer. You see on the right is the powerful search that we have built inside the PDF viewer and different ways to create and share and organize information. So using our layers technology, I'm going to show that in a minute. And then we have our create information tool set that ranges from markup tools to annotations to assets and locations. So I'll just quickly start with the markup tool. I'm going to mark up an area. Let me call this as office space A. Office manager wanted to mark these areas and then share it with occupants. I just do a quick markup. I'm going to change my style. and then I'll change the fill and then set my opacity to 50%. And I can quickly create a text. I'm going to call this as, say, office space A. And this is the open office in DPR Phoenix office. So let's say I wanted to categorize 3 different spaces. So I'm going to copy this. And then let me put that here. I'll expand this. I'm going to call this office space B. I'll change colors for easy identification. And then I'm going to copy this again and then create another office space. That's all office space C. So this workflow is really useful when a facility manager with the life science building trying to create a lab map for chemical handling, right? So this feature or workflow can support a wide range of use cases, specifically for pharmaceutical or for data centers if they wanted to highlight different spaces. So now I have highlighted 3 different spaces, so I wanted to organize this information. So I'm going to use our layers mechanism to organize this information. So I'm going to call this one and say publish, which means I'm sharing it with external users. I'll create a new layer called office spaces. And then I will create another child layer called office space A. And then I can expand this with office space B and office space C. So I'll just select this and then I'll save. What I did is I published my office space A to a layer where other facilities team can access this information and they can easily control the visibility of it. So I'll just do it for a couple more so we can show the visibility settings as well. So I will call this office space B. I will publish to this layer, and then I will call this office space C. And I'll publish it to this. So now, as an administrator, I have highlighted all the office spaces. As a user, a facility engineer comes in and he wanted to see all the office spaces and control the visibility settings of it. I can easily hide all the office spaces and see which is office space A, office space B, office space C. The great thing about this is we are maintaining a single source of truth, which means you create this information, maintain this information, share this information in one place, so the information is not scattered. A lot of the times facilities start with the drawing. As the documents evolve, the markups or the information that is created on top of the document need to evolve as well. So because of that, we create copies and the information is scattered. So we are trying to unify all of this information and organize all of them. So this is related to office spaces, like creating information and sharing information. And also think about another scenario where a facility engineer or a facility manager wanted to measure a space for remediation. Let's say there is a recent incident that happened in a facility which flooded the area, and a facility manager wanted to quickly measure the carpet area for a new carpet. In that case, what a facility engineer would do is we can quickly come in and then measure the space. So the measurement tool is also part of the PDF viewer. So I can quickly measure the space. I drew a polygon and immediately I get the area that is 250 square feet approximately for this conference room. So the key value proposition here is facilities team does not need a separate software to do all of this functionality. In the past, they would need to spend a lot of money on buying a 3D viewer or a 3D software and then spend a lot of money on PDF viewers. So what VueOps is trying to provide is a unified way to create and consume this information, which means all they need is a browser and a device to use all of these workflows. That's workflow number one. So that is create and share information with the external and internal stakeholders. Let's move on to the second workflow, which is about creating mapping assets and spaces for handling emergencies, for sharing it with external stakeholders like first responders. So here, let's say we imagine a scenario where a facility manager wanted to map all the emergency equipment, say fire extinguisher, eye wash stations for lab spaces. So VueOps supports this workflow with assets. So right now, users can come in and then drop a pin and then connect it to a fire extinguisher. So I can just search for the fire extinguisher and change my icon to a fire extinguisher and drop the pin here. So similarly, I can expand this to a wide range of critical assets, emergency equipment, say all the valve locations or all the fire extinguishers, security cameras, emergency exits. So this becomes handy when we are creating evacuation plans, highlighting all the evacuation routes, highlighting all the emergency exits, and highlighting all the fire extinguishers to handle emergencies, or sharing this document with first responders when we have a situation. So all they need is a drawing, and they can drop a pin and start creating assets and then connecting them to these pins. So I can just keep working on this flow where I wanted to say highlight a eye wash station. So I'll drop a pin, and then I can choose a eye wash station. We provide a wide range of icons to choose from. So I'm going to choose an eye wash station, and then let me create eye wash station. I'll call this I can choose a location if I want to. So I'll just say it's in the men's locker room and then create it. So now within few seconds, I was able to create an asset, and I can actually map these assets to different locations as well. So we support this workflow in our new release where users can create all this critical information on the go. So this also works in iPad and mobile devices, which means users can walk the facility, drop the pins, and create the map of their assets and locations. So that's number two, the workflow that we support in VueOps. With that, I'll jump on to the third workflow, which is the...
Shyam, can I interrupt for a second? I think that we've got a couple of questions in chat. I think that would be perfect for this. How do we add all this manually? Can it pull the information from a 3D model?
That's a great question. So if these assets are already connected to a 3D model, users can seamlessly switch between a 2D and a 3D model. I'm going to show that in the next workflow. But for example, let's say in this specific facility, we have RTU, a rooftop unit, which is already connected to a 3D model. So what I can do is I can drop a pin and then connect it to a rooftop unit, which is already connected to a 3D model. So in this scenario, I'll just connect it to a rooftop unit 4. So now I'll just change an icon to an asset and then save this. So now this is a rooftop unit, which is actually originated from 3D. The way I know it is if I go to my related documents in 3D, you can see it has a model that is already connected to this asset, which means I can seamlessly switch between 2D and 3D. That's the power of VueOps, that we are connecting all this information together, all the documents, 2D and 3D. So that's a great question, Christy.
Okay.
Yeah, so view assets can originate from a 2D and can be connected to a 3D, or assets can originate from 3D and can be connected to a 3D, or assets can be imported via spreadsheet and can be connected to 3D or 2D. So we support multiple ways to create and link these assets.
Okay, we do have a few more questions, but go ahead with the deck and I'll hold them for the end.
Okay, that's awesome. So with that, I'll move to the third workflow that we currently support is virtual investigation. Our customers love virtual investigation in 3D. So they're all excited about using virtual investigation in 3D. But how do we bring the same experience to existing buildings which does not have a 3D model? That's where we wanted to bring the power of virtual investigation to 2D. So we have built the insights panel, which we call that's our branded way to find information. So we are bringing insights panel to 2D viewer. I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's imagine a scenario that a facility engineer got a call from an occupant saying a hot room, cold room call, right, on a conference room 312. So I'm going to take Phoenix office as an example. I'm going to show that. So occupant reported a hot room, cold room call. So I'm going to start with the location. The occupant said, hey, my room is pretty hot and my room is conference 312. So I will start with searching for that information. So I can just quickly type in the number and you can see we automatically bring in the list of assets and locations that matches your search. And I can actually click on the conference room and it highlights the conference room right in the drawing. I can zoom to that location. So we have built in zoom to selection functionality. Now I see this conference room. Let's say before I do further investigation, I wanted to know if there are any BMS alerts associated. So for that, first I need to find what equipment is present in the room and what a diffuser is serving the room. So I can use VueOps asset functionality. And when I click on the asset, it tells me all the asset that is actually present in this room. So now it tells me there is a ceiling diffuser CD23 that is actually connected to the conference room. Now I can click on the ceiling diffuser. It shows me all the information about the ceiling diffuser. And one key thing that we have to notice here is, hey, I don't see ceiling diffusers in this particular architectural drawing, but VueOps tells you, but I can actually find the ceiling diffuser in other drawings. So I'll go to an upstream asset and then I'll show you that. So I clicked on a ceiling diffuser. I wanted to go up. So I can click on an asset and find the fan coil unit. I click on a fan coil unit, which is connected. So now I know the fan coil unit is connected to this conference room. So I'm going to expand on it. So it says fan coil unit is not found in this drawing, but you can actually find a fan coil unit in all of these drawings. Nothing is hard-coded. This VueOps brings all of these documents automatically. We use intelligence in the documents and the drawings and the models to bring this information. So what VueOps does is I started from the room. I went in the asset that is serving for the room. Now VueOps is saying that particular asset is not found in the drawing because it's an architectural drawing, but it says I can actually find that fan coil unit in a mechanical plan or a mechanical piping plan or an electrical schedule. This is all automatic. And it shows me all the 3D model and can directly take me to that. On top of that, it gives me all the information that is related to the fan coil unit right from the architectural floor plan. So it gives me submittals that is related to the fan coil units, O&M manuals that is related to the fan coil units, as-built photos and videos that is related to the fan coil unit. That's the power of VueOps. Right from one drawing, I can actually find all the information that is related to my search. So the occupant reported a hot room, cold room. I identified the asset that is serving the room is fan coil unit. I wanted to go and look at a BMS alert if there are any. Let's assume I got a BMS alert. It's chirping a number called A6. So that's where VueOps comes into play. Is a lot of the times VueOps is miscommunicated as a BMS platform. So what VueOps does is VueOps brings context to any situation. So now the BMS alert is chirping, say I have an error code A6. So what VueOps is going to help you is identify what that A6 means, where this fan coil unit is located, where this fan coil unit is fed from, what it is connected to, what all the O&M manuals. So that's what VueOps does, is bringing context to any situation. So Right now, I got a BMS error calling A6. So I'm going to open my O&M manual right from here and then see if what A6 means to me. So I'll just close my search and then I'll type A6 here. So it is a 600-page document, so it's going to search all the errors that is connected to A6. Let me just go to a particular scenario where right now I clicked on page 401, which says, hey, this is the A6 error, and looks like there is a problem with the fan motor assembly. So now we exactly know what issue is connected to this error code. So now from here, users can go to a mechanical drawing from 3D. So I'm going to click on a mechanical plan. So VueOps is going to open the mechanical plan, and it zooms me to that asset. So basically, I started from an architectural plan with the room, and then now I'm on a mechanical plan, which shows me the fan coil unit locations. Now I'm going to jump to my electrical panel schedule to see which panel this fan coil unit is connected to. So you can see it automatically zooms me to that asset because I know I'm searching for FC2. So it takes me to that fan coil unit and says the fan coil unit is connected to a branch panel M1A. So now a facility engineer exactly know which panel to go to, which circuit number that he needs to turn off for maintenance or fixing an issue, and all the related information that he needs with an asset. On top of that, VueOps can show all of this in 3D to check access or to check systems. For example, I'm just trying to open the fan coil unit in 3D, and VueOps slices the model, automatically takes you to that fan coil unit. I'm not doing any navigation at this point. Right now, everything is happening automatically. So what VueOps did is it took me to that fan coil unit. From here, I can easily go to that room and do measurements and check access and find out what site ladders I need. And even I can look at the systems in a system view panel. So what I can do is I'll go to systems and relationship. I can find out what systems it's connected to. So all of this information is interlinked, so you can seamlessly switch between drawings, models, and data. So that's one of the key value propositions of VueOps is supporting virtual investigation, not just in 3D, but now extending to 2D.
Shadam, would you mind just reviewing one point here regarding the effort it takes to tag a particular asset to submittals or OMs, etc. The 2D tab, this is from chat, the 2D tab seems like it's simply looking for the asset name in the text in the sheets, but everything else feels like a manual effort up front to work properly.
So if I understand it correctly, the effort requires to tag. So we have some bottom line that I would say guardrails for VueOps to work is the asset tags needs to match the drawing tag. So we don't need a pin because we support a workflow called auto search, which means, let me demonstrate the workflow. I believe I understood the question correctly, but if I'm going in the wrong path, you can just pull me back. So what we support is a auto search capability. Right now, I'm going to delete all of my pins. Let's assume I don't have any pins. There is no manual effort. The only condition that VueOps requires is the drawing tag and the drawing have to match the asset tag, and the drawing tags are computer readable as a whole, right? So now I can search for FC-2. It is bringing me the list of assets. When I select an asset, it automatically takes me to that asset, and VueOps knows I'm actually searching for an asset because of the intelligent asset database that we have. Now, without any pins, it actually takes me to that asset, gives me all the information about the asset, and then it can also bring related information about the asset and what we use the drawing tag to connect all of it. So there is no manual linking required if the asset tags match the drawing tag.
Okay. Chad, if you have a follow-up, please let me know, but I'm watching the chat. So go ahead, Shadam.
Yeah, cool. So let's, we talked about 3 workflows. I'm going to go into the 4th workflow and one of the key workflows that we support with VueOps. As we talked about, buildings goes through a number of changes during its life cycle, starting from small TI project to big renovations. So change management is very important for facilities to keep the documents and data up to date. And change management has always been a struggle because updating the drawings and keeping as-built and connecting all these as-built together. So through our new 2D workflows, we are introducing a simple and practical way to manage all of these as-built. So we're going to start with a base plan. For every facility, there is going to be a base plan, which we can assume it as a skeleton for the building. So we always start with the skeleton, and all of the changes are going to accumulate on top of the skeleton. So right now, we start with a base plan. For example, I take this drawing as my base plan, as my skeleton. And there are a number of changes that happened to this building over the past 5 years. This is our Phoenix office. So let's take one example. Due to the increasing capacity or increasing staff count, we ran out of the spaces. So Phoenix office wanted to expand the storage room into a conference room. So that's a project that happened in 2020, I believe, converting the conference room, converting a copier room and a storage into a conference room. So that's the change that happened to the building. But how do we manage this change? So what VueOps does is a user can add all of those changes as projects. So every change is a construction project. So right now, that conference room addition is added as a project. So now that project is added, and all the drawings that is related to the conference room is created as a package and then uploaded to VueOps. Now I can go to my base plan and mark the area that is changed. So I'm going to just draw a small rectangle to highlight the changed area. And what I can do is I will link this to our tagging feature. So you can see all these as-builts are already tagged. So you can see the conference room addition as a set of as-built drawings. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to link it to the particular markup. Now I'm going to add a text here and say this is (2021) 2020 conference room addition. So what I'm creating is a base plan with all the connected as-built. So now I can actually publish this information. I've already created a layer called projects, and then I added a layer called conference room addition. So now what I'm doing is I'm publishing this information to this layer. So I'm going to save this. So we can keep adding all of the changes. For example, another change that happened in this building is a furniture remodel for this entire space. So I'm going to highlight the area that is changed. And I'm going to just add a little bit of fill and opacity to this. And I'm going to connect this to a tag called Open Office Remodel, and I'm going to link it. I can actually publish this to another project. I'll add a project called Open Office Remodel. And then I will publish. I'm gonna select this and publish. I'll go to my Open Office Remodel and save it. So now when a facility engineer or a manager comes in, he can see all the changes that happen in the building as projects, and users can actually click on it, click on the change that happened in the building, and then open all the related aspects to the particular change. For example, I can click on the conference room that is changed, and I can open it. So what it does, it pulls me all the related aspects that is connected to the change. So here is the floor plan that changed for that particular area. So it's a more simple and practical way to manage and connect all the digital aspects and manage all the changes that happened over the building lifecycle. So this is the fourth key workflow that we support facilities for change management. So I was able to summarize all the key workflows. I wanted to switch back to my slides, but before that, we can just stop for a couple of minutes for questions.
One of the questions early on was, just reiterate, do we have mobile access to VueOps?
Yes, I was going to talk about that in my next slide. VueOps is responsive. So it is different from having a mobile app. So we wanted to support a wide range of devices. So we made VueOps responsive. So it is not restricted to an iPhone or iPad or an Android tablet or an Android phone. All user need is a device and a browser. So a user can open up, access VueOps through their iPad or Android tablets and access all of this information. So VueOps is fully responsive, and users can use it wherever they are.
Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to quickly summarize the key workflows that we have introduced through 2D, and also all the key workflows that we are already supporting. So starting with our powerful search engine, it is the search engine built for facilities. It's a tailor-made Google for facilities or for campuses. And facilities team can virtually investigate issues either in 2D or 3D. Using our brand new PDF viewer, users can create and share information with external or internal stakeholders. Users can map assets and spaces for documentation, emergency response, reporting, and for more workflows. And we are also introducing a simple and practical way to manage ASBL changes and changes that happen over the building lifecycle. And all of this information is accessible through any device, either it is a desktop or a mobile. Wherever you are, you can access all of this information. All you need is a device. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Shalom, a couple of things have been coming up in the Q&A and the chat, and it's really around how do we get all this data into VueOps?
That's a great question. So data can get into VueOps in two ways. If the customer wanted to spend effort to onboard all of the data, we provide simple onboarding tools in VueOps where users can easily create a project, upload documents, and download our asset import template, add all of the assets and import it back to VueOps, add all of the locations, import it back to VueOps. We have a simple way to push all of the data to VueOps and then use all the capabilities that we have built for facilities team. So onboarding is simple if the users wanted to do it by themselves. And we have a world-class services team and customer support team, which helps with the data onboarding. And as we know, the data comes out of construction, design and construction, most of the time does not meet the standards of facilities team because the requirements are totally different. So our onboarding team can help curate the data for the facilities team and push it into VueOps. So it can be done directly by customers, or they can use our onboarding team to push the data into VueOps.
As a follow-up, is this intended to replace something called PlanGrid?
So PlanGrid is built for different use cases and different workflows. So PlanGrid is more focused on design and construction, where VueOps is focusing on operations, so beyond construction. So all of the workflows that we are supporting is catered towards facility operations. And we are also trying to bridge the information gap between design and construction and operations. That's where VueOps is sitting in. PlanGrid is more focused on design and construction. It has got a lot of features, but those are not catered towards operations. So that's the key difference.
I want to circle back to this question of why 2D now? You know, isn't VueOps focused on 3D? Is that how you started?
Yeah, that's a great question, Christy. So VueOps is focusing on 2D because that is one of the most wanted ones from customers. The digital transformation, we have been supporting digital transformation for all our clients, but the digital transformation is more focused on new buildings where we had 3D models. But there has always been a question from customers is, what happens to the existing buildings in our portfolio? So where existing buildings, for all the existing buildings, most of the buildings use 2D as a standard of record, where there is no 3D models available. So to support all the buildings that is in customers' portfolio, we definitely wanted to expand it to 2D and support digital transformation for existing buildings. So it is not focused only on new construction. We can also extend the value of VueOps to existing buildings. That's one of the main reasons that we wanted to bring 2D. And we don't see 2D as separate from 3D. 2D is always going to complement 3D. What VueOps is trying to do is it's trying to combine the simplicity of 2D with the power of 3D. 3D is great for many use cases, and 2D is great for many use cases. So we wanted to combine both 3D and 2D to provide enhanced user experience.
Along those lines, Shadam, how does new construction capitalize on these new 2D features? I mean, this is really about what DPR is about, new construction. So how do we capitalize on it?
Yeah, so for the customers who are already investing in 3D, can take advantage of 2D specifically for many workflows. For example, let's take an example of highlighting all the emergency exits, or creating an evacuation routes and sharing it with the internal or external stakeholders. When all of this information is available in 3D and being shared with the external stakeholders, we cannot expect the external stakeholders to be familiar with the platform. But 2D sheet-based navigation has been in the industry for decades, so most of the internal and external stakeholders are familiar with 2D. So our current customers can extend the value of VueOps beyond 3D to 2D, so it becomes useful for all the stakeholders that is participating in the facility operations. So that's how I see value in 2D, especially when we are sharing information with first responders. Right, finding information in 3D might be challenging for the teams who are not familiar with 3D. That's when 2D comes into play. So we are not taking 3D out of the picture. So we are combining 2D and 3D. So users can seamlessly navigate between them.
What does DPR expect that an MEP coordinator do with VueOps?
Can you repeat the question?
What does DPR expect that an MEP coordinator do with VueOps? How can an MEP coordinator utilize VueOps or help their clients do so?
We have not explored options in terms of how VueOps can help during design and construction, especially when working with clients. I might need to defer this question because it needs a little bit more discussion and thinking in terms of how we can use VueOps during design and construction to support constructability or review or more.
Okay, I will follow up with the person who asked that question, no problem. And I think what else we have? Please continue asking in chat. One thing that is important for all to know is that, do customers have to pay extra for these new features that we're adding on?
So the customers who are already using VueOps and are already a subscription customers or any new customers does not have to pay anything for these new features. It's all part of VueOps. So there is no additional cost to utilize these new features. So that includes all our VueOps customers. But there could be cost associated with onboarding if they intend to use our onboarding team, but there is no additional cost to use any of the features.
Okay. I do have some questions in chat following up on pricing, and just to answer those questions, feel free to reach out to myself or the sales team, or just info@VueOps to answer some more of the pricing questions at any time. I don't see a lot of other ones coming in that are new. A lot of them are wrapped up in some of the answers you've already addressed. But I think we could wrap it up, Shadam, just maybe highlighting the key pieces again.
Yeah, sure. So I would encourage everyone to, if you already have VueOps access, I would encourage everyone to log into VueOps and try our new functionalities, workflows, and features. So it is also available for warranty customers. So if you're currently working on a warranty project and exploring options, try it out. You can also reach out to our sales team. So VueOps SiteLine is your digital plan room. It is a digital plan room for facilities and campuses. So we have built a tailor-made Google for a campus or facility, so they can find with the most powerful search engine where they can find information. And we are expanding our virtual investigation capabilities to 2D. So now users can experience the simplicity of 2D with the power of 3D. And with our new PDF viewer, users can create and share information with internal or external stakeholders. And users can create asset inventory, map assets and spaces to improve emergency response time, to reduce facilities downtime, for reporting, for documentation. And then we are introducing a practical and simple way to manage building changes on digital asphalt. And all of this is responsive, so users can access information wherever they are. All they need is a device and a browser. So that's SiteLine for you guys. Thank you so much. And you can check out more on our website, www.vueops.com, and we have a special products page which highlights all the workflows we just talked about. And if you wanted to know more about pricing or data onboarding or features of VueOps, contact us at info@vueops.com to learn more.
Thanks, Shadam. Thank you, everybody. Please feel free to reach out to info@vueops.com. And there are some questions in chat that I'll reach out directly to you, hopefully, and some requests for the presentation and recording, and I'll send that out as well. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining us today and learning more about VueOps SiteLine. We appreciate your time. Bye-bye.